think you got a replacement.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh.
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to a special edition of Day 5. This is the Costa FLW Series Championship version. This is Lake Guntersville right here. We have Kyle Walters. You won this derby, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
You've fished 2 tournaments here on Guntersville with FLW. You won them both. You were flipping both times. So I think we get out there, we go flip us up a 10-pounder and break down how you did it.
Let's give that a shot.
Let's rock. All right, Kyle, we're up here where you did all your damage this week, and it is some of the juiciest looking stuff. It's very Guntersville, but also very Florida. It's kind of like home for you.
Yeah, it looks like what we look for at home. Matted canopies of grass, big bass laying underneath it. And
big rod,
big line,
big
weights, big guys.
We're just gonna roll on down here and flip away, right?
Flip away.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
So this thing, I mean, there's milfoil.
Milfoil, there's hydrilla underneath it.
And then it's a lot of like just
chopped up stuff. But you can see the water's clean.
Mm-hmm, it is.
You know, they like to live in this stuff. A good deal.
Do you feel like, because, you know, day 1 was canceled due to weather, so we fished Friday, Saturday. Friday was cloudy, kind of windy. It spit a little rain too.
Yeah.
Maybe not, you know, the most ideal conditions for this. However, yesterday, it seemed prime.
Yeah.
Sun was out, flat calm.
Yeah, and yesterday, and you know, I had 19 on the first day, and I was fortunate to have that. You know, I caught a big one late in the day. Or, you know, it would have been a 16-pound bag
right.
kind of deal. So yesterday when I pulled in and it was calm, the wind actually was just barely moving, and you know, I could fish it, you know, very efficiently, and I think that was part of the deal. And when that wind blows, you know, I don't think, and it's cloudy, I don't think the fish like to position themselves as much underneath this stuff as they do when the sun's like this. And so what would happen, I think what happened yesterday was in that couple-hour flurry that I had where the big ones are biting, I think they were just swimming in here because, you know, the sun was starting to shine and getting calm out, and they're like, I'm gonna go get in that shade.
We took off out of the Guntersville harbor. A lot of guys spent time down on that end of the lake. Why come this way?
Just because this is where I could find this matted grass that was in, you know, 5 foot of water.
Okay.
So I would stop in a lot of spots when I'd see it, and I'd pull up, and a lot of it on the main river channel, I heard that a few weeks ago, the water got real high, they had a lot of rain.
Yep.
And so when they were generating that water, it tore up a lot of the stuff that was on the outside river channel. And I actually had one spot in the off day that I was gonna start on, and I'd caught a big one out there and shook some others off. It was gone after that storm came through. And so when the wind blows real hard, it tears, and then all you have is like what we're looking here. So we're basically flipping this that's got matted cover on it.
Sure.
When you get back in here, it's just a massive thing of grass, and then you start fishing and start getting bites, and said, well, let's do that. Typically, it's not a one fish deal on these lakes, you know. So if I was to say we were practicing right now and I had gotten 2 bites, you know, I would feel like this would be a spot that I could fish, and I wouldn't need to go 400 yards that way and 400 yards this way. It's a tournament.
Right, you'd be...
You know, I mean, we've already gone 100 yards. We've been fishing for, you know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. As my stretch started in the morning, I would go to where I got bites, but then, you know, I'd keep fishing. And then even in the tournament, if I felt like I was getting away from them, I'd mark the last fish on my GPS. And if I went another 50 yards and didn't get one, you know, I'd feel like I had fished the area, and then I would, you know, expand it the other way. And then by the end of the tournament, you'd kind of know where they were laying.
Gotcha.
So people will say, oh, you don't need electronics. You know, I use them to mark the bites.
Sure.
You know, mark the bites.
All right, Kyle, tell me this, because I know with guys that are really good at flipping and punching and all that stuff, there's different kinds of bites, right? Sometimes you get them real active, they'll hit it on the fall. Sometimes you got to shake it a little bit, bring it up to the top of the mat, shake it. What was the bite as a whole in the 2 days you fished this week?
This week it was on the way in, every one of them. If I caught a few on the yo-yo and they were usually small, but all the big ones ate it on the way in, which is a little bit different than in Florida. Florida, a lot of times we'll even sit there 8, 9 times yo-yo and get them to come here. And it seems like here on this lake, they like it on the way in. I mean, they eat it hard, and it's one of them bites where it goes in. So I had to train myself throughout the week. Kyle, remember where you are. Mm-hmm. Don't flip it out there and shake and bake it for a long time. Because I get into back like I was at home, and I'd one. Yeah,
you'd be kind of sitting there milking it for
right,
a
and then
while.
I realized. So I'd sit, and then finally, halfway through day one, I got to where I could get in the mindset that once it went in, and it got to the bottom, that she wasn't going to eat it, and just reel it right back up. Actually, for a little while there, I'm fishing with a 7-to-1. And I thought, man, it'd be nice to have an 11-to-1,
right.
in this technique, because you can get so many more flips. And that's why I learned how to flip with my right hand. So and learned how to reel left-handed, because I'm a right-handed guy. So I was better at flipping with my powerful hand to set these hook in this big heavy grass.
Yep.
So I just taught myself how to use the other reel. So little tricks of the trade that a lot of guys don't do. Bobby Lane, JT Kinney, both of them, buddies of mine, and they learned how to fish with that hand, and I picked it up, and I've taught my kids now, to do it that way. So, I feel like I can, and when you first do it, I'll never forget the first big one I caught. I grinded the reel and everything. It was funny, but now, now I wouldn't have it any other way. And
you kind of mentioned that there's a whole, system to what you're doing here. Give us a breakdown: bait, hook, weight, all that stuff.
So this bait, we want to use a bait that's compact enough to go through the mat without coming off the hook. So there's been a lot designed. Gambler Lures has this one. It's called a Gambler Stinger. So it's able to stay behind the weight. We're able to get it in there. It goes through the mat and nice and efficient. If you're sitting here always picking your bait off, you're not. You're not
wasting
fishing.
time.
So you want to try to make this as efficient as you can. You could use a cricket, a BB cricket, a lot of different type of baits. I think here I wanted a little bit bigger bait than a small bait. The water gets real cold, we'll flip small baits.
Sure.
But I feel like because there was no shaking it that they wanted on the way in, I wanted to give something with a little bit of profile. So a bigger type beaver style bait was, what we were looking for. This cover here is about 1.5 ounce weight cover. As you can see, we're able to get through it.
Yeah.
I think a good rule of thumb is you want to use a lighter weight than you have to. A 1 ounce wouldn't go through this. 1.25 ounces, you'd probably have to work it. 2 ounce, it'd be like a cannonball.
Sure.
So I kind of picked the 1.5 ounce. I snell the hook. I always have. That helps give it a kick out. This is kind of a debate in flipping.
It is.
I watch these videos. Like, why would you want the bait to hook? When that fish grabs it, I want it to kick a little bit, grab the top of the skin of his mouth, and then it'll pull it straight up. It's not, you're not really biting the air. A lot of guys argue that, when you set the hook, you're just trying to get the hook to rotate in the right direction. This is 75-pound halo braid, and I just got a bobber stopper on it. Pretty simple. You can buy this rig for next to nothing and come out here and get it going. What we want to happen is when we go down in there, when I set the hook, I want the braid to cut the mat to help me get the fish.
Yeah, it kind of clears a path.
Just clears a path out, and so I can get him in there. A lot of times that doesn't happen. You gotta really horse him in, where maybe mono or fluorocarbon wouldn't give you that ability.
Well, and I feel like, this stuff, the terminal tackle side of it's one thing, but this bad boy
gotta have this rod.
Yeah,
gotta have this rod.
Why this rod?
So this is a 711 extra heavy Halo TI Titanium Series rod, and we spent at Halo years. When I say years, hours and hours and hours flipping. JT, myself, guys, we would test these rods, and we came up with this, the bend of this rod. This is the JT Kinney Signature Series. It's got a good bend to it. It's not fast. You're not going to rip him out.
Yep.
Still got lots of power. We want to pull a real moderate bend rod. These rods are getting lighter and better and better.
Yep.
And matter of fact, there's another one coming out that's even lighter and better than this one. And it's we're trying to stay up with technology. These guys at Halo, Lionel Botha and the crew, they keep this us with the best rods that we can buy doing
Yeah.
this technique. You know, this is a Florida deal.
On the boat ride up here, we were talking about, like, you knew Thrift was behind you. I mean, it's Brian Thrift. So what was it like when you actually started getting big bites and you're kind of thinking to yourself, like, man, I got a pretty good bag going today?
He called me after day one, you know, congratulate me on the bag, and I made a little joke that I was ahead of him, and since I'm never ahead of him, I was gonna mount the standings in the house. And he laughed and he said, hey, it ain't who's in head today, it's who's ahead tomorrow. And, you know, he alluded to the fact, you know, I just had a feeling that he was catching bass. And, you know, and yeah, an 18-pound bag was good yesterday. You know, 1 6-pounder, I only had 20, but I had a 6.
Right.
You know, so whenever you're doing this, I'm thinking, you know, Brian's going to go catch 18 again tomorrow. And, you know, and that, I think he was probably on the most reliable pattern. So, you know, once I knew I'd caught those big ones, I thought, well, he's going to have to catch a great big bag.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that was a good feeling. And, you know, you're fishing a little bit more relaxed, you know, and then I knew other guys were catching them, but I had a pretty good feeling with when I had 25. You know, I felt like I had close to 25 pounds, and I had a 2-pound lead on him or such, you know, somewhere around there, so he'd have to catch 27. But it never left the back of my mind until even when he got to the boat ramp and there was an entourage around him, I thought, oh my goodness, he's done it. He's caught 30 and I'm going home. But no, it worked out, and I'm, you know, blessed and happy that it did. And, you know, Brian's gonna win. He's gonna catch them everywhere, you know. And he was real nice. He came up to me after, he goes, hey, you're staying with me at the Cup. You know, so here I got the world's best angler inviting me to stay with him at the Cup. Pretty cool deal. I don't think that's sunk in yet.
Yeah.
You know,
I believe it.
I'm going Forest Wood Cup.
I believe it.
You know, that's
yeah, there's more to winning the Costa Championship.
Yeah, I mean,
than just
I still haven't
paycheck.
I still haven't figured that out. You know, I guess in August we're going to a Lake Hamilton. I haven't even read anything on the internet. Never even knew it existed. I'm gonna cherish that for sure, because I can tell you right now, that's something that not fishing the tour and trying to get there that way is going to be something that's going to be, you know, hard to do ever again. You know, if I ever fish the tour, you know, maybe I'll have a better. I mean, that's still hard. That's still a hard road there, but you know, to actually get there through this road, you know, is something special, and you know, something that I applaud FLW. I know there's that for doing, and you know, keeps guys like me with that chance to fish in, you know, one of the biggest tournaments in all the world. And I can for sure tell you that I'm going to enjoy it. Oh, we got
I found one.
Don't breathe heavy.
Yeah, we did it. We're going to lose a rod. We're a hot mess, but we're doing it. Boom.
Boom.
Look at that.
Good work.
I'll give you that. Slap hands. Now, it's only because you're like 9 feet tall. This is actually like a 9-pounder, but you're just such a big guy, it looks so small.
Well, yeah, we're going to give it 9.5.
But that's how you do it.
Isn't that a beautiful fish?
It is, man.
Nice
super
and
healthy.
clean.
That's all there is to it. You get up here, take a big weight, throw it in there.
You put that in the live one, you take him all the way back up there and see how much she weighs.
That's right, man. Well, Kyle, I really appreciate you taking time out of your long drive back to Florida to come back out here and do this. That's a Guntersville bass, and we're out of here.
Sounds like a plan.